Today I'm going to talk about investment that's doing very well, 16% per annum return since 2011, and you can be part of it if you invest in this right now, and you even get extra $2,000 of cash back. What's more, this fund is only available for accredited investors, meaning 300,000 annual income or more, but with me, you can invest it right now without annual income requirement. See this expensive watch? This was personally signed by Steve Jobs himself, and it cost $1 million, and I bought it because I invested all my money in this product and it's making money 8% at least every year. So why would I wish I were kidding, but this is really the type of policies that are being sold in the market right now. And they like to call it investment products, but they are none other than new age ILPs, investment linked policies that I've already told you to stay away from. But over time, the insurance industry has actually evolved and they have come up with these new investment linked policies that I think are even worse than before. Now, when I made my videos on ILPs, I was actually basing it on very old knowledge about 10 years ago, but I've since re-entered the industry and I know a lot more about the new kinds of products that are being sold to consumers these days. And I realized that the new age ILPs are actually more insidious than the older ones I was used to. And here are some reasons why they are so bad for you. Do drop me a like on this video so that this video can reach out more people to warn them about ILPs. In an earlier video of ILPs that I made, I talked about how the first few years of your premiums, a bulk of it actually goes to your agent as commission. Now, that still remains true, except it is no longer that transparent to you right now. Older ILPs are called front-loaded policies, where you can actually see a whole chunk of your first year premium going towards your insurance advisor, which is why when you put in a premium, you'll see a low allocation rate of maybe about 15 or 20%, meaning to say only 15 or 20% of your premium are invested. Now, new age ILPs these days actually say that 100% of your premium goes toward investment. And on top of that, they even give you bonus units. Some policies promise as much as 60% bonus. And that sounds like an incredibly good deal. On top of that, your agent also gets his commission, and the commission is not any lower than the old ILPs which are front-loaded. So think about it. How come when you invest, say, $10,000, you see an account value of $16,000, your agent still gets his fat commission? Where is this money coming from? To state the obvious, the money comes from you when you buy such a policy. Now, when you buy such a policy, you just have to bear in mind a few simple facts of life. The insurance company wants its cut, the fund manager of the insurance fund wants its cut, and the agent also wants his or her commission, and they will all be paid. And how they do it is when you invest a sum of money, even though your account value shows that you have, let's say, $16,000, try to terminate it and you will find high termination fees in the first maybe 10 to even 20 years. So when you try to get out your money, you actually get zero in the first few years. And over time, you'll find that the surrender value never reaches the premium you have paid until you reach some sort of break-even year where you can finally terminate and get your premiums back at zero return after all these years. The whole reason why a break-even period is required is because the policy takes time to grow to recoup the losses made in forms of commissions paid to your agent at the start of the policy, and all these fees that will eat into your returns over the long run, which is why it takes maybe 10 plus years for the funds to grow to a point where you only get back your capital without return. So you're much better off investing in other low-cost investments that does not take up so much of your money, and there's no such thing as a break-even period at that time. So this is the termination fee, which is one way that the policy locks you in for the long term so that they can charge their policy fees, annual management fees, etc., all kinds of fees they can find in the policy contract, and that is designed to recoup the bonus units as well as the insurance company's profits over the years. And most people will not want to terminate a policy because they feel that they will make a loss when they terminate the policy. But make no mistake, the loss is already suffered, right? The fees are being deducted yearly from your account. The commission has already been paid to your agent, and I've explored this sunk cost fallacy concept in my video. So watch that if you are interested to know more about that. So most people hold on to this policy for years and years, waiting for this magical break-even year. But a proper investment breaks even on the first year. When you buy a proper investment, you can sell it off on the same day and get your money back minus a little bit of transaction fee. For instance, if you buy a share from a broker that doesn't charge any commission, then you can actually sell the share at the same day and have no loss. There's no such thing as a break-even period to hold for a proper investment like a stock and share. And that's a sad state of affairs in Singapore these days, where most people think that long-term investments have a lock-in period where if you terminate before that, you actually suffer capital loss. There is no such thing if you buy a proper investment. Now I have to talk about my sponsor for this video, but again I have to clarify that the free shares that Webull is giving you can be sold at any time you receive it, and you're not locked in, and there's no fees going to deduct money from your account, because again you can fund any amount, even $1, so there's really nothing for them to deduct. They just want to give you these free shares for you to try out their app. And this comes from their marketing cost. It does not come from you. And if you want an app that lets you invest properly, Webull is the one for you. It lets you buy stocks and shares with zero commission for a limited time. And you can also buy mutual funds if you are not into stock picking yourself. And all these can be sold at the prevailing market value. There's no lock-in period. Right, so go and download Webull using my link to support this channel and get yourself some free shares. Now this promo has been extended a couple of times already, and I think it will end soon, so better sign up now. And for those who have already signed up, remember to fund your account to lock in your free shares before the promo ends. Thanks for signing up, and thanks to Webull for sponsoring this video. But hey Seth, the fees may be high, but the fund returns are very spectacular and they're only open to accredited investors. And as someone who doesn't earn that much money, I can't invest in it unless I buy this fund through an ILP. So it's a good deal, right? Spoiler alert, you can always buy similar funds with similar risk return profile as this and not have to pay all the fees that an ILP entails. The fund in question tends to be invested in large growth companies like Microsoft, Pepsi, Estee Lauder, and you can just buy the individual shares yourself or buy a fund that tracks the world index of large cap companies as well. For instance, you can invest in the MSCI World Index, which has done spectacularly well over the past few years, and you can do this on platforms that charge 0.3-0.4% fee. So why buy an ILP product with all its fees to invest in something where you can get similar alternatives outside that come without all these charges? Besides, just because a fund does well for a period of time does not mean it will continually be doing well over the next few years or decades even. So again, why are you paying all these charges in an ILP to get a fund where you can get similar returns outside, and returns are not guaranteed? Even if you're really so dazzled by the past performance, why not buy a fund that got even better returns over the past 3 or 5 years? The QQQ did almost 20% in the past 3 years, and if you believe in past performance foretelling future performance, then buy this fund instead. You don't have to buy it through an ILP and save all those fees, and the fund did better than the funds of those ILPs that are being sold. Now, in my opinion, these policies are very insidious because they are so deceptive. Where older ILPs are at least honest with how much they charge, because when you invest $10,000, they show you that you only have about $2,000 left in account. The new age ILPs actually show you an account value that looks very nice and impressive, but when you try to terminate it, you actually don't get back your money, and you have a lot of fees that will slowly eat away at your returns over the long haul. Coupled with the fact that agents like to sell this based on the fact that the funds have been doing very, very well over the past 10 years, and only accredited investors can take part in this, makes you have a sense of FOMO and want to get on board and get the returns as well. I can see why people still buy these policies despite the fact that ILPs have been repeatedly criticized for being lousy and of poor value. Instead of making good ILPs, which is actually an entirely possible thing to do, insurance companies have actually responded to criticism of older ILPs not by making the ILPs better, but by making them better looking, but it is still the same old poor value that it has always delivered to customers. Now, there's a government website that tries to explain all the different fees, and it's mostly relevant for the front-loaded type of policies. But the new age kind are back-loaded ones, and the website just puts there and says that although the premium allocation structure differs for front-end and back-end loaded ILPs, the overall effect of the charges will be similar. I think the wording also shows that the government knows that the ILPs are not much different from the older ones. And yeah, until they decide to actually ban ILPs, which I don't think will ever happen, consumers yourself must get wise and not buy into such policy in the first place. Subscribe to my Telegram group for more content and great deals, and also tap on this video if you have already bought an ILP and not sure what to do about it, and this video which YouTube thinks you will really enjoy, and see you in those videos. Today I'm going to talk about a damn good investment, and it gives you more than 16% returns per annum, and I can't do this, oh my god.